Hi, I just want to have a real moment with you guys. So I've watched several YouTube tutorials on how to fix my dryer. The heating element went out. I knew before I paid the guy to come out and tell me that it was the heating element. And he was trying to charge me like $258 to fix the heating element. I bought the part online for like $16.99 through Amazon. Whoop whoop. And he was like, oh yeah, you just unscrew this one thing and the heating element will come out and then you put the new one in. That is not the case. And the YouTube tutorial did not cover all the other parts to this dryer. So I want to give you guys a brief synopsis of what I've been going through to try to fix my dryer. And I look like I rolled out of a trash box. Okay, here we go. Okay, so you can hear my birds chirping in the background possibly, but this is the heating element. And actually, I'm reattaching the pieces. This is post pulling it out of the back, and it was placed in here. And that's got a screw on it, so it should be fine. It looked like this and was jammed into that thing in the back, and apparently was supposed to have a screw on it back here, but it didn't. So that was okay, I guess, because I couldn't see that far back into the dryer anyway. But it had all these little cords attached to it. So thankfully I took pictures of where everything was, and I've kind of tried to keep everything relatively local to where it belonged so that I can remember exactly what goes where. And not mess up the parts of the dryer. So moving on, what I had to do when I went outside into the garage was get the new heating element in after removing the old heating element. While we're on the subject of the dryer, I want to talk to you about the dryer lint trap. It is definitely something that should be cleaned out. You'd think that this little screen would catch everything, but it doesn't. There is a reservoir underneath of the dryer, which is this main portion here, which has 4 bolts that hold it down. I don't know if those are bolts, but whatever. And so in order to clean that out, you just unscrew that and then pull it straight off. And I just used the dryer or the vacuum cleaner to clean out the dryer lint that was stuck in there. It is a fire hazard, so cleaning that out while you're in there would definitely be helpful. Now you can see that the heating element is back in. I've reinstalled the knobs that were on there that control the heat to the unit. It's pretty dusty, so I'm going to get the vacuum cleaner and just use the hose and reach down in there and suck up some of the remaining dryer lint that's on there. And then we'll reattach all of the wires. And it would be helpful if you like posted them or, labeled them beforehand, but I took lots of pictures so I wouldn't get mixed up. All right, back in a moment. So now that I have all the wires reattached, I believe the way that they were before, I am going to reinstall the metal plate that I accidentally bent, trying to fix the dryer. So helpful little piece. I guess it holds up the heating element and blocks excess dryer lint from getting in onto the heating element while still allowing air to pass through. As you can see, there is a screw here that holds it in, and then there is a lip that tucks in and through a little hole, and there is a nut or bolt or screw or whatever that thing is, a nutty screw, I have no idea, that we're going to put in and get this thing all fixed up. So righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, let's get this bad boy back on here. It is in a very precarious position, which is why my dryer is tipped on the back. I, of course, unplugged it before starting any of this and removed the hose off the back so I could tip it, which I will also clean with the lint cleaner. You can also just replace it, but that's kind of wasteful in my opinion. And as a single mom, I'm obviously a penny pincher and like to do things myself. I'm just hoping this works. So I successfully finished reinstalling the plate that covers my brand new heating element, and I'm just going to reattach these cords together. And as you can see, there are shapes on them so that you can't plug it in the wrong way. It just won't let you. If it's upside down, it will be a no-go. So you want to try to match those up, and then you just, I'm trying to do this with one hand, give it a push, make sure it's nice and secure, and then we can tip our dryer and see if my house catches on fire. That rhymes. Now that the heating element's back in, I went ahead and plugged back in the dryer, and I'm going to hook up the hose to the back of the dryer. Pardon the floor and the mess in my house. I dusted off the back. I'm gonna do another quick once over just to kind of get rid of all the grossness. So far, the dryer has not caught on fire. There is a little bit of damage on this that I'm just gonna ping out with a hammer. I brought it in. I won't do that on camera because it's loud AF, but just to get rid of that ding so it doesn't catch more lint than it's supposed to. And then we're gonna give it a go and see what happens. So I've got the hose reattached on both ends and it's plugged in, and I got more lint all over the place because I decided to reach into the hose and clean it out with the wand thing that I got for cleaning out the entire vent thing. But I want to make sure the dryer works before I go through all that nonsense. And I'm having trouble breathing because it's super dusty and I'm allergic. Okay, anyway, so just a look below deck so you can see what's going on. It looks like it is drying. It's heating up. Okay, so I may have, it cycles, I think. So it gets really warm, pushes the air through, and then stops heating for a minute, I guess. I'm not sure. Maybe it was just a fluke that it wasn't bright red like that when I last looked at it. But hopefully it will stay on and keep working. And if not, at least I know how to do the repair now. Remember to keep your hands outside of the unit when it's plugged in, because it is, of course, a shock hazard. Always remember to unplug the dryer. It does cycle. Whew. Always remember to unplug the dryer before you start working on it, and be leery of scratching and shifting your flooring, which I did pretty bad. So thankfully I have a marker, and maybe I'll do a little tutorial on how to repair scratched wood or replace flooring, which I've already done twice in this house. And finally, reinstalling the back piece. This piece to get off was kind of a pain in the rear. There are little clamps that go in on each side, and you just simply tip it forward, and these are the clamps that you have to hit when I'm kind of pushing the dirt over out of the way too. Those are the clamps that you have to push down. I used a paint spatula to get those where I needed to be, and you can see that the heating element is back on again in there. So we're just gonna push it in on both sides pretty firmly, and then I'm gonna get a Lysol wipe and wipe down my dirty ass dryer. Well, there you have it, guys. That is how we change the heating element in a Whirlpool Cabrio Dryer. And the next topic that I'm going to cover is changing out the entrails of the 2-flush toilet. I have really hard water and scaling, so getting that cleaned out. I've tried Lime Away. I've tried pretty much anything you can think of to try to get that hard lime to dissolve in the back, and it's just not kicking it. So I'm going to turn off the water next and clean out the back of the toilet and get it rolling. Thanks for watching.